you see out of Scripture is this constant battle always moving between Cain and Abel, Israel and the nations, John the Baptist, Jesus and the Pharisees, true believers versus counterfeit believers. They're always going to war. So this idea that you're going to live through life and go, man, everything is just always rosy. It stopped when the Garden of Eden, when we got kicked out, and it will not be restored until later on. Until that time, we live in these two conflict points. So logic gives us this rule. Do you want to be a child of God, or do you want to be children of the devil? The children of God live by faith. The children of the devil live by works, live by law, and they live under that guise, and they have to live under that weight. They move through this. Satan's goal in the Old Testament was to keep the seed, Christ, from being born into the world. Satan's goal throughout the entire Old Testament was this: destroy the bloodline so it cannot take place. It's intriguing when you read the Old Testament to realize there's a narrative underneath that is also moving. There's a meta-narrative, there's a major narrative moving about how Jesus is coming to restore. We all love that narrative. Most of us understand and know that narrative. But there's also a narrative underneath that says this: something is constantly trying to oppose that. Like there never is a moment inside of the Old Testament where something is not trying to oppose what God is doing and what God is advancing. This should help our lives, because even inside of our lives, we have this major narrative of our life where we're trying to always go forward. We're trying to follow God. But every single one of us, Paul will talk about this later, what I want to do, I don't do. What I don't want to do, I wind up doing. Like Paul even talks about this narrative. All of our lives are being shaped by one of two things. Do we live by law, or do we live by faith? Paul's logical understanding for this helps us understand the promise is from the beginning to live by faith. So, you see it all through the Old Testament. For Satan knew that God's Son would one day crush Satan's head. So God makes this promise of covenant with Abraham through Christ. So that only two parties can make any changes, and that's God the Father and God the Son. The only people able to change the promise is God the Father and God the Son. That is incredibly brilliant for God to set it up like that. Satan can't change the promise. You can't change the promise. I can't change the promise because you and I were not involved in the covenant.